What up, YouTube? This is Steven Talbert. This is Talby Reacts. Today, we're going to react to the Bethesda press conference. So, the Bethesda press conference happened today at 7 p.m. Pacific. So, I'm going to give you my reaction, my overall thoughts about the Bethesda press conference. Overall, I thought it was an awesome press conference. I thought it was great to probably excellent, kind of in that range. I think it wasn't like the ultra preserved, but because they didn't really have, Fallout 4, they didn't have these really these really big games. I thought Doom and Fallout 4 really made that press conference, and I don't think this show wasn't as big as that. But I think it still was a pretty excellent press conference unto itself. So to kind of begin, so they started off with one of the biggest surprises so far, and that was Quake Champions. So Quake Champions comes from the line of Quake. Quake was one of the first OG shooters in the time. It was one of the first ones that really do multiplayer, really stressed it out before kind of Call of Duty. It really was Quake unto itself. That was really the multiplayer. Like you had Quake, and then you really had Halo, and then you had Call of Duty in a lot of sense. And Quake, is awesome. I'm glad they're really trying to bring back these games like Doom, like Castle Wolfenstein, and Quake. And I'm really excited to see them try to do that because I think it's a really smart idea for Bethesda to really try these games out, because I think it gives them 3 solid games to kind of go back to. Because I think if you look at all 3 of these games, they have really big fan bases. Like if you look at Quake, like Quake has a pretty gigantic fan base, and they even have like their own convention. And I feel like there's a really nice fan base that will support these 3 games. And I think if they can try to produce really solid games, like we've seen with Wolfenstein, or we've seen with Doom so far, I think there was really solid. I think we have really good first-person type shooters, and I really do want them to try to do that because I think it's awesome to see that. I think those games really interest me. I'm not really interested into the kind of the Fallout 4, the Skyrims, but those really are the ones that really interest me for Bethesda. So, kind of moving forward, they went from that to kind of the Fallout 4 DLC. I think the Fallout 4 DLC was pretty awesome. I like the Vault-Tec, kind of build your own vault type thing. I think that's really awesome to kind of give you tools of that, give you some more creative type stuff. And then they also made this Wonderland type DLC that's coming in August, which is probably the last DLC. And I think that looks pretty awesome. I'm probably not going to try any of these DLC, but they look pretty solid. I think they're definitely worth checking out if you want to check that out. And so I think those are smart. I think moving forward, kind of after that, I think they kind of started talking about kind of the Fallout, their Fallout Shelter game, and then also their new card game that's built on the kind of the Skyrim, the Elder Scrolls type series. And so I think those 2 games are really smart. I think for Bethesda getting into mobile phones, making high-end mobile gaming is really awesome because we need really high-end mobile gaming. I think if mobile gaming really wants to succeed, really want to see good stuff come for that, I think go support these games, this card game, and this also the Fallout Shelter. So I think it's smart for Bethesda to do that. So going forward, I think one interesting thing. So kind of they went into kind of after that they went to the second really big surprise of the day, and that was the introduction of Prey. So Prey, if you don't know about Prey started. I think the first Prey was in I think with the 360. The PS3 generation, and I think it was pretty good. I think it had a pretty good cult following. And then there's rumors that they were doing a Prey 2, and they never really canceled Prey 2. But I think for the most part they really did. And I think they were trying to figure out what do we do with Prey, because it's a pretty solid game idea. And I think they started creating. They let their awesome studio create this game called try to remake Prey into what they have right now. And I think Prey was the most interesting thing at the Bethesda press conference for me. Like, I really like the space station. I like kind of the thriller type aspects. I really don't know what to suspect from it because I didn't really play it. I really wasn't interested in the first Prey, but I think this game really captures my attention, and I think I may check it out. And so I really like it, and I look to see more. Hopefully I think they said they may show it at QuakeCon, so we'll see if we see more. I'm interested in when it will come out. Will it come out in the next couple of months? I would think it probably is at least 1.5 years away. Although it could be really close because they've been the studio that's been working on it's been really quiet. So that was awesome. So moving forward, we have other good games. It was cool that they announced the Skyrim remastered. There's been rumors that they've been working on. They kind of reported the Skyrim before they started working on the Fallout 4. That they made a port for the Xbox One. So is this kind of the port they made for Xbox One, and they just redid that, took that port and applied it to the PlayStation 4? Will it take time? Will the remaster of the Skyrim take time and delay the next the next Elder Scrolls 6, I believe? And there's a lot of questions surrounding that, but it's awesome to see that it's going to come out, because I may try to give that game a second chance. I got into that game. I liked it a little bit. I played probably 10 hours or so, but never really, I just stopped playing it for some reason. So I may try to go back into it. The last game they showed was the Dishonored game, which Dishonored for me is, I really like Dishonored. Actually, I played a decent amount of Dishonored and real excited to see what they get. For me, what they showed of Dishonored basically looked like Dishonored again. I didn't really like how they showed the game initially. I thought them showing kind of the engine was kind of like, we just don't need that. I think that was kind of the low part of the press conference, is them showing that engine. Then they showed kind of gameplay, and the gameplay was good, but it wasn't like a full section, which I would think would have been better. They just showed different parts of it, and I was like, okay, it was good. Then they showed another trailer, and the trailer to me wasn't as great as the first trailer, which they initially showed last year. And so I think it's good to see Dishonored 2. I have no expectations about it. I may try to pick it up. It's going to be interesting about Dishonored 2, because I think it has the same thing with like Titanfall 2. It was one of those games that are well received, but they just never really caught on with the mass public. You definitely saw, I think people liked them to a lot of extent, but they were just never, they were kind of like, they just flatlined in a lot of sense in terms of their popularity. You can just get those cheap games really cheap. And so it'll be interesting to see if this game, is this game going to do really better? Is it a whole lot better than the original Dishonored? Or is it just more Dishonored? If it's more Dishonored, that could be a problem. And so we'll see, I guess. But overall, I thought they did an awesome press conference. Another thing I forgot to mention was they did kind of talked about VR. That Fallout 4 may be coming to the Vive, which is really interesting. It will be interesting to see if we actually get an actual game Fallout. Well, if we actually get Fallout 4, or if it's going to just be like theater mode. Like PlayStation announced, like they do theater mode for a lot of their games, where you just put the head screen on and that's all you get, and so you don't get like VR controls and stuff like that. And so it's kind of a really iffy way of saying it's VR, but really it's not. And so that's something to take note of. So overall, I thought they did awesome. Like I liked what they showed me. They showed me 3 solid games. One I didn't know was coming. I thought Quake was the most surprising game of all. But overall, I think there's 3 solid games that are, they're very easy to look forward to. But it definitely is like EA. Like, do we need this conference? Do we not? I think it's worth taking home. But overall, good solid conference. Guys, what do you think about this conference? Did you like it? Did you not? Comment down below. Like this video if you like it. Subscribe to my channel if you have not. And hopefully you like the content I'm producing. Hopefully I'm going to produce another video for Microsoft, another video for PlayStation. Bear with me if it takes time. All right, have a good day. All right, bye.